I'm your host with the most, Locum 23, joining me for Distant Shores, Chapter 13, Friendly Fire. Watching horror as Admiral Cochran lifts the compass triumphantly above his head. Well, the day is ours, thanks to our new friend here. It was nothing.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
What the hell, Robert? You'll pay for this. On the contrary, I'll get paid for this. Does this mean we're supposed to be on the Navy's side now? Just shut up and do as the captain orders. Sounds like the rest of the crew didn't know about Robert's plan, not even Octavia. Kendrick inches closer to you and the others, his expression wary. I'm glad I already defected to your side last. Robert, you black-hearted bastard. Charlie steps forward, her pistol pointed right at Robert's heart. Edward joins her, his weapon aimed at the Admiral. You're both brutes through and through. You take stock of the surroundings, making note of where each of your crewmates, your loyal crewmates, are standing. If Robert is on the Navy side, then we're way outnumbered. With everyone already pointing their weapons at each other, one wrong move could turn this into a bloodbath. Now we're going to live. No more trouble, no more bloodshed, understood? You scowl at the Admiral and Robert begin to back towards the cave's entrance, their crews falling in alongside them. Even though you rage, you can feel the pull of the compass calling towards you. Rage at Robert's betrayal floods your veins, but you take a deep breath and resist the urge. As much as I want to, I have to do what's best for the crew. I have to try to change Robert's mind somehow. Robert. You can't trust the Admiral. I don't have to trust the man to know his interests currently align with mine. Robert and the others continue backing up towards the entrance to the cave, keeping their weapons trained on you. Really, Octavia, you're going to betray your family again? Family can be complicated. Kendrick, are you coming? Kendrick shakes his head, moving to stand next to Maggie. Nay, I'm right where I belong, right, last? Right. The last of Robert's crew steps out in the sunlight, joining the Navy's ranks. Now! Boom, 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 boom! The ground shakes beneath your feet as explosives go off around the front of the cave. Kendrick, did you? No, it wasn't me, I swear! Robert must have planted some explosives himself. The roof is caving in, everyone take cover! You duck under a large rock formation, praying it's enough to keep you protected from the falling debris. I hope everyone's safe. The tremors finally stop and your eyes adjust to the darkness. You lift your head and look around. Is everyone okay? None of us are okay, we're trapped. Maggie points to the entrance of the cave where the large boulders completely block off your exit.
Oh, yeah.
Admiral Cochran and his men escaped. Robert, too, the bastard. This is all going to be their downfall. They'll regret not killing us when they had the chance. So what now? Well, someone could go scout out the rest of the cave, see if there's another way out of here. I'll go. The rest of you have risked your lives enough for one day for me. You're still injured. I'll go. It'd be safer if two people went together. And this could be a nice chance to share a private moment with someone. Explore the cave with Edward and Charlie to find an exit and deepen your relationship in this exclusive scene. You know, I feel for him. Just saying. I mean, I like both love interests, I'm just saying. Edward and I will go. The rest of you stay. That includes you, Polly.
Beach, please.
Take care of our captain, love. I will. You and Edward feel your way towards the back of the cave. The voices of the others fade away as you follow the winding tunnel deeper into the darkness. Reach for Edward's hand. You reach out through the darkness and grab Edward's hand. He gives you a reassuring squeeze. All right, Miss Bellamy? Yes. Somehow, despite everything, yeah, I think I am. You lace your finger through his. I think I see an opening up ahead. The cave opens up to a large cavern with several branching tunnels in various directions. It could take us days to get out of this labyrinth. Well, then we best get started. As the two of you continue through the cave, you reflect on everything that's happened over the last few days and everything Edward's been through. I know this must be hard for you. Being trapped in a cave? You're nudging with your elbow. Having to face the Admiral, watching him destroy your ship, being betrayed by Robert and his crew again. Alas, it's all part of a pirate's life, Miss Bellamy. Edward, what'll you do when we catch up to Robert? Edward frowns and stares ahead into the darkness. What I should have done the day he betrayed me, though I will take a little pleasure in destroying a man I once called a friend. I may take a little pleasure in it. Robert has hurt too many people I care about too many times. Edward, do you have any regrets? My resolve for justice hasn't wavered. In fact, knowing the horrors the Admiral has caused you and the rest of the crew now has only strengthened it. He hesitates. But I do regret that you were ever in a position where the Admiral could hurt you. Edward, it's not your fault. Without you, the Admiral would have shot me the day we met. I suppose that's true. Let's just vow to get our vengeance together. And what happened with the Admiral after I left? You were trapped on a ship for so long, and you were in bad shape the last time I saw you. Reach out to gently cup his cheek, where some of the wounds are still healing. He lifts his hand to cover yours. The Admiral wasn't about to let me die, not while he could still torture me with his own with my own failures. I really hate that guy. I wish you had never met him, but now that you have, I admit it's nice to have someone who understands the depths of my loathing. You keep walking, following the twists and turns of the cave. The only sounds are the scuff of your boots and the distant sounds of water. Edward, if we can't find a way out, don't. He pivots abruptly, stopping right in front of you. You bump into him and catch your balance by grabbing his arm. We are going to get out of this, trust me, Peyton. He's staring at you so seriously, so intently, that for a moment the world fades away and it's just you and him. Edward, I do trust you. I trust you with my life. I can think of no greater honor, Miss Bellamy. There crackles between the two of you, your heart thudding in your chest. The magnetic pull between you draws closer until under the cover of darkness. You lean forward and brush your lips to his, gently at first. But your sweet kiss immediately turns feverish as Edward guides you back until you're pressed against the cave wall. You can feel him the entire length of his body along your body hot, hard, wanting. He blazes a fiery trail of open-mouthed kisses up to your ear so he can whisper, I've been waiting for another chance to taste you. You don't have to wait any longer. Grab his shirt and drag his lips down to meet your kiss. You sink into the feeling of his tongue stroking over yours and his body pressing into you. Edward. His free hand cups your cheek, strokes your jaw, slides down your neck until his thumb comes to rest over your pulse. Your heart is racing. I wonder why. He smiles as his lips graze your jaw. His hands travel lower and you arch into his touch as you heat floods you. Your head falls back against the wall, you feel his breath hot against your throat, and you gasp as he nips at the tender flesh. How I want to devour you. Your body throbs with the need to throw caution at the wind and fall into him, but even as his fingers trace their way back up your body, leaving your nerves tingling in their wake, you pull back to take a deep breath. We should probably... Edward presses his forehead to yours, his chest heaving. Aye, you're right. We've both made promises we must keep. But when we're freed ourselves and completed our mission, then you're all mine. Aye, you have my word, and I'm all yours. You smile at him as you step away and straighten your clothing. The sooner we get out of here, the sooner we can make that happen. You continue your search through the cavern until... There, just ahead. You spot a ray of light piercing down into the gloom. The rocky crags are flat enough to use as stairs, and when you look up, I see sky. Come, let's get the others. You rush back through the twisting turns of the cavern, and then lead the rest of the crew to the opening. You take some climbing, some digging, and more than a little cursing, but finally... Freedom! We made it.
We made it!
What do we do now? We'll stay up here tonight. Charlie will take first watch while the rest of us make camp. And after that? After that, we find a way off this bloody island. The next morning, you're all gathered on the beach, huddled around a pile of wood and rope made of woven vines. Now we're gonna need a lot more than logs. Hand me that bunch of vines, would you? Hey, wait, you can't tie it off with a knot like that. It'll never hold. I think me knows me not. The raft is not going so well. Maybe it's time we consider Plan B. This is Plan B. Charlie suddenly stands, shielding her eyes with her hand as she looks out over the water. And perhaps that would be Plan C. You look through your spyglass. They're headed right towards us. They're flying Navy colors. Is it the Admiral again? Perhaps he feared we'd escape the cave-in after all. Everyone cover their tracks, head to the tree line now. By the time you and your crew are huddled in the shadows of the jungle, the British ship has dropped anchor, and a rowboat is fast approaching the shore. Your breath catches as you spot an all-too-familiar figure in front of the rowboat. Ah, look at that. What a surprise. It's Lieutenant Cochrane. Cochrane, your Oliver is related to the Admiral. You flush and look down at your hands. Yes, he told me he's the Admiral's son that night on the ship after dinner. Oliver and his crew reach the shore and pile out on the rowboat. Oliver cups his hands and round his mouth and shouts, "Peyton, I know you must be out here. I know you have no reason to trust me." He's here for me? "When I heard what my father had done to you and your crew, I couldn't abide by such treachery, so I've come here to help, if you'll allow it." I knew he cared about me. He's telling the truth. And how, pray tell, do you know that? I just trust him. The sins of the father are not the sins of the son. Are you sure you're not letting your heart influence your head, Miss Bellamy? I wouldn't put the crew at risk like that, and you know it. Peyton has a point. Besides, what reason would the Navy have to trick us like this? The Admiral could have called for our heads in the cave, but he didn't. Oh, you're too trusting for your own good, Charlie. This isn't a matter of trust, Edward. It's a matter of options. And I don't know about you, but I don't see any other besides that perfectly fine vessel out there. We can be wary and accept to ride off this bloody island. Very well. And I'll ask the crew to do something this outrageous unwillingly. Edward stands and motions for the crew to follow him further into the jungle, where you can talk without fear of the Navy overhearing. What's going on, Captain? Are we fighting those bastards or not? It appears the lieutenant is here for us, to help us, and given the circumstances and our lack of other options. You can't mean. But it's the Navy. I'm not going to say we trust them wholeheartedly, but we can use them as a means to an end. Because that worked out so well for you last time. It got you back, didn't it? Oh, true enough. Well, I don't see that we have much choice. Ada? What? The raft of yours is never going to hold a wee babe, much less the entire crew, and we've no other way off this island. Besides, I've always wanted to bag me a navyman. Henry is probably still on the ship. This may be our best chance of rescuing him. Bring this together. We won't move forward with a plan, unless we're all agreed. All in favor? Aye. Aye. She looks at her brother, then elbows him, and he stays quiet. Oh, aye. I trust Peyton and Charlie. If they say this is our best chance, then I'm in.
I'm in.
Oh, hell, why not? I not oppose the will of the crew. Aye. Well, then we're all agreed. In that case, I suppose it's up to me to go talk to him. Oliver's men are still on the beach looking for signs of your presence when you march out into the view holding your head held high. Oliver, you really want to help us? I do. There's no excuse for what my father did. I want to try and make it right, if you'll allow me. You promise to help stop your father. I cannot promise that I'll drive the knife into his heart with my own two hands, but I do swear that I will provide you safe passage to wherever you need to go on your journey. And I will not stop when the time comes. You give Oliver a long, appraising look. You already know what your answer must be, but you still find yourself examining his features for any hint of deception. You find none. That's enough for me. You turn and whistle. One by one, the rest of your crew begins to emerge from the jungle and joins you on the beach. So this is the bastard who took Henry. If by bastard you mean I captured him when he attacked my men, then yes. Is he still safe on your board your ship? Of course, where else would he be? Edward steps forward, his hand dropping to his hilt. If you double-cross us, Lieutenant, I'll end you. I find your terms acceptable. Oliver holds out his hand, and Edward steadfastly ignores it. Charlie rolls her eyes and jumps into the nearest rowboat. If you gentlemen are finished posturing, I believe our opponents have a hard start. Soon you climb the rope ladder up to Oliver's ship and step onto the deck. Here she is, the Intrepid. You gotta love their English and their utter lack of imagination when it comes to naming ships. Hey. Don't be a dick, Kendrick. Intrepid and Enterprise are good names. You stop it right now or I'll kick you off this boat myself. A familiar figure emerges from the ship's galley. Captain! I thought I'd never see you again. I'm sorry I disobeyed your orders like that, but I was right. They do have fresh meat. I'm glad to see you're safe, Henry. Captain, we've already ready to weigh anchor. Thank you, Doyle. Peyton, this is Officer Doyle, my master of arms, and this is my first mate, Alvarez. Oh, Oliver, it's about time you gave us proper introductions. I was wondering who the handsome men who tried to kill me were, and now I have names to put to the faces. Right. Oh, sorry about that. No hard feelings. Oh, we'll see. As you can see, I'm operating with a skeleton crew. It was no easy feat to convince loyal Navy men to betray their admiral. We can help. Ada flips upside down from the nearest yard arm, so she's hanging from her knees, startling the officers. Lord have mercy, you gave me a fright. Where'd you come from? Now that's a long story, but I suppose it all started when our mother met a proper Englishman like yourself. You chuckle as the twins lead the officers across the deck, dazzling them with their charm. As crew begins to bustle about, Oliver gestures for you and Edward to follow him. Come, we've much to discuss. So, what do we do? Now that Robert and the Admiral have a compass, they'll be going after this treasure. And they're headed that way. You point out across the water, guided by a force you only feel a little and understand even less of. How do you know that? I overheard them before the cave-in. Oh, that they would be so careless with their plans, but I suppose they have a history of underestimating pirates. Exactly. Now the nearest major city in that direction is Port Monarch. Well, then that's where we're going. The fair winds and calm seas you approach the harbor of Port Monarch within a few days. Nearly there, but now comes the hard part. We must pass the Master Attendant's inspection to enter the harbor. Inspection? That doesn't sound good. It's not. It'll be impossible to explain the presence of pirates aboard our ship. They could always pretend to be prisoners. An excuse to clap us in chains, eh? Do you have any better idea? I do. Everyone turns to face Charlie on the other side of the deck. She's holding up a few spare Navy uniforms. We could disguise ourselves in these. The Master Attendant wouldn't be any wiser. Aye, it would make our movements in Port Monarch much easier as we gather information about the Admiral's whereabouts. What do you think, love? Want to play Navy with us? We're the behind-the-enemy lines outfit to help slip past the Master Attendant and gather information in Port Monarch. Edward and Charlie will also get disguises. She looks like Deanna Troi from Star Trek, I'm just saying. The broad-cloth coat is heavy as you pull the hat and wig down over your hair. How do I look? Like His Majesty's finest. Oi, what about us? You turn to find Charlie and Edward completing their disguises as well. The neck on this jacket itches. Oh, look at that, all of the scars are gone. Stop your whining, Captain, we're almost aboard. Soon you reach the checkpoint and disembark to meet with the Master Attendant. Good day, sir. Lieutenant Cochrane. Oh, this is where you went after Desire and Decorum. Good to have you back. The Master Attendant turns its attention to you and your friends. Stay cool, Peyton, stay cool. But to your relief, he merely offers you a friendly smile. I don't believe I've met your companions. Oh, hello. I'm Officer Smith. I'm Captain Montgomery. Lieutenant Cochrane was kind enough to offer us passage to our new posting here in Port Monarch. The Master Attendant notes something in his ledger, then turns to you. And you? Me. I'm new to the Lieutenant's crew. Peyton Bellamy. Nice to meet you, Mr. Bellamy. Mr. Bellamy, huh? Looks like my disguise is working perfectly. Now to business. What is your purpose in Port Monarch? Well, that and women are allowed in the Navy. Seriously. Took hundreds of years. Moving on. We're here for supplies to restock the ship. Of course. Enjoy your stay in Port Monarch. Master Lieutenant cuts off as a messenger boy interrupts to hand him a piece of parchment. He scans a note quickly before glancing up at Oliver. Terribly sorry about this, Lieutenant, but this document says you're not to be allowed in the harbor. Some business about the Admiral. What? Oliver's hands drop to his sword as he leans in close to look at the page. Threaten him. You step forward, lifting your sword out of the sheath just a few inches, enough to draw the Master Attendant's attention. Are you going to believe some scrap of paper over your commanding officers? But You step closer, dropping your voice dangerously low. Do not make me make an example of you in front of my men. I will not let them see. Yes, sir. Master Tenant waves you through, then hurries along to question the next ship. You turn to your companions with a triumphant smile. Shall we? Carefully, you don't want the uniform to go to your head. She wouldn't be the first. You return to the Intrepid and dock in the harbor of Port Monarch. Soon you and your crew gather on the wharf. I must attend to some Navy business, figure out who's behind the edict against me. I guess that means the rest of us are on our own for now. I snuck a peek at the master attendant's ledger at the checkpoint. The Admiral's ship is definitely here, and so is Robert's. So, what's our next stop? A stowaway on the Admiral's ship? Even if we could sneak aboard, we have no idea when he's planning to leave. We need to gather information before we do anything else. Aye, we can't just keep guessing our enemy's next moves. We split up. Use whatever contacts we have to find out where the Admiral is now. And you can use your clever costumes to go where pirates aren't normally allowed. Just so, Jenny girl. Well, we'll be back here in a couple hours. Sorry, Polly, you should stay on the ship.
Pretty bird, pretty bird.
Exactly, you draw too much attention. Polly nuzzles you with her beak, and then takes off towards the Intrepid. You and Charlie wander the port city together, talking tall in your uniforms. I got used to this level of respect. I prefer you in regular clothes, but I get what you mean. You drift through the crowds, catching snippets of conversation. I've never seen such a mad crush at the taverns. Oh, I'd never prepared another damn roast. It'll be too soon for me. I heard he's bringing his wife and his mistress to the dance. Can you imagine? Mad crash. Grumpy man. Big group of carousers took over the Randy Nymph. How's a man supposed to get his grog when the bar stools are taken? He's probably talking about Robert's crew. Yeah, I doubt the Admiral would be caught in a place called the Randy Nymph. We better keep trying. Gossiping woman. Can you believe it? It's so scandalous. And Charlie ease closer to the woman, pretending you aren't listening hard. But I suppose the governor's ball only happens once a year. Charlie gasps and the lady turns around. She immediately starts fluttering her eyelashes when she spots your uniforms. Pardon me, officers. I hope I'm not blocking your path. She curtsies and moves to the side. Not at all, ma'am. We were just on our way. As soon as you're out of earshot, you turn to Charlie. What's wrong? Why did you gasp? I know where the Admiral will be tonight. You reconvene with the others on Oliver's ship, away from prying eyes. And ears, hopefully. Edward looks almost gleeful as he tosses his navy hat on the pile he's made with the uniform. Oh, I've never been so happy to not be wearing this clothes before. Really, never. Can we focus, please? We don't have much time to catch up on my father. You and Charlie fill the others in on what you heard. The governor is throwing a big ball tonight. The whole city is abuzz with the news. That's it, the governor is representative of the crown. If my father is to pursue this treasure hunt of his, he'll need official permission. So, he'll go to the ball tonight to ask for it, and we'll be waiting for him. You reach out to touch Charlie's arm. You don't have to do this, you know. She doesn't have to do what? What's going on? Charlie clenches her fists and glares off into the distance. My governor is the father. What? Truly? Charlie stands straighter, pulling herself together. We're going to need invitations if we want to attend the ball. I can sneak into my father's household and retrieve what we need. Charlie, if this is too much, I have to do this. But she doesn't have to do it alone. I could go with her. It'd be a good opportunity to find out more about her past. Go with Charlie to get an invitation to the ball and learn more about what it was like to grow up in the governor's household. Never liked seeing her frown. I'm going with you. You shouldn't have to return to your father's house alone. Charlie smiles at you, her eyes gentle and her voice soft. Thank you. The two of you start down the gangplank. Watch each other's backs. And if you run into any difficulty, we'll be fine. You boys stay out of the trouble while we're gone. No fighting or brawling or mayhem. We'll try. Charlie sets off through the town, maneuvering confidently through the twisting streets. You've certainly made an impression on our new Navy friend. He seems quite taken with you. Oliver, don't worry. There's no need to be jealous. You loop your arm through hers and grin. I've only got eyes for you. And maybe Edward. I didn't say I was jealous. You continue to tease her as you follow the winding paths up to the top of the hill. Soon Charlie stops in front of a grand mansion that could only be the governor's manor. This place looks lonely. These rooms, but no love to fill them. Charlie frowns as she lets her fingers trace over the intricate wrought iron gate. There was some love, just not upstairs. She leads you along the edge of the side garden, then through another courtyard, and finally to a back door to the kitchen. In here. She knocks quietly in a quick rhythm, as if she's done it 1,000 times before. What in the world? Miss Dorothy. Cat! Is it my kitty cat finally come home to visit? The woman throws her arms around Charlie, pulling her to her bosom. 'Tis so good to have you back. I cannot wait to hear all about your latest adventures. Come in, tell me. Dorothy fixes the two of you a cup of tea in the back of the kitchen. Now, who is this? Don't tell me you parted ways with my sweet boy. Yeah, she means Edward. Raise your eyebrow, but before you can comment, Dorothy shakes her finger. Now, I'll brook no slander of my boy. He sends me such thoughtful gifts. Why, those spices made me the talk of the town at last year's ball. Ellie rolls her eyes and reaches for your hand. This is my Peyton. Oh, that's lovely, my sweet. It's a pleasure to meet you, Peyton. Where are you from? About 300 years into the future. That's a long story. Dorothy huffs and shakes her head. As always is with Cat's friends, isn't it? Not that I'm surprised, given the trouble she caused it as a wee little thing. Miss Dorothy. Oh, tell me more about Charlie as a little girl. Charlie groans and drops her head into her folded arms. I tell none of that. What I was a point of all the mischief if I don't get to tell your friends adorable stories. So the stories are adorable, You're going to ruin my fierce reputation. She acts so fearsome now, but she used to rescue every stray animal that wandered through the garden. Had a real knack for it, too. Most days I couldn't talk her into standing still, but give her an injured bird to tend to, and she'd sit like a statue until the thing was eaten out of her hand. That is adorable. You know, at this moment, I would welcome another mutiny. Dorothy finishes her cup of tea and sits it down on the saucer with a clink. As much as I enjoy talking about the past, I'm sure that's not what's brought you here today. No, it isn't. Something terrible is about to happen, Miss Dorothy. Our only chance is to to sneak into the governor's ball tonight. The ball? With all those dreadful people? Unfortunately, yes. Can you help us? I need to see the guest list and invitations. Of course, my dear, follow me. Dorothy pushes up from the table and leads you through the kitchen to a large entryway. The housekeeper's been finalizing the details, but she usually leaves the papers on the side table. Aha! Here it is. Be quick, my love. I'll stand watch. You and Charlie search through a fancy ledger and find a stack of extra invitations and a list of replies. Here, the Italian ambassador can't attend. No one knows much about them, so we can easily take their place. Write their names on one of the extra invitations while I change their response. Tap the cards as Charlie changes their response to yes. You're cordially invited to the governor's ball. Excellent. Let's go. Help Charlie get the invitations to the governor's ball. You slip through the manor to the kitchen under Dorothy's watchful eye. I suppose you must be going now. Yes, but I'll see you again soon, I promise. Dorothy pulls Charlie into a fierce hug, and the way they hold each other makes it clear. Whoever Charlie's mother might be, Dorothy's the woman who raised her. Stay safe, kitty cat. Yes, ma'am. Dorothy snorts and then wraps you in an equally fierce hug. Take care of my girl, you hear? Miss Dorothy, we take care of each other. Aye, we take turns saving each other. That's all I ever wanted for you, my sweet. Now get on with the two of you. Go on. The two of you retrace your path. On the way back to the ship, you see the city in a new light now through the eyes of a young woman whose father didn't want her. Charlie, do you ever wish you'd stayed here instead of choosing a life at the sea? Nah, I was care for Port Monarch in its own special way as my birthplace, but the sea offers independence. The sea represents freedom. The sea is hope. As you gaze out over the water next to her, you can't help but believe her. You turn to face Charlie, and the glint in her eyes draws you closer. Slowly, gently, you lean forward to slide your hand behind Charlie's neck and coax her towards you until your lips touch. The embrace is soft and sweet, with just a hint of honey from her tea. She breathes out your name. Oh, Peyton. You smile against her lips as you kiss her again, just as lightly as before. Is it nice to tease, love? I never claimed to be nice. She chuckles as you capture her lips for one last kiss before pulling back. Come on, let's hurry up and be done with the unpleasantness that is your father. Nothing would bring me greater pleasure. You return to the ship with invitations in hand. The dance starts in just a few short hours. It's time to crash a ball. Well, that was very short and sweet, but then again, I was reading super fast. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description below, links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support me and my content. And without further ado, by the way, Queen Bee's up on the channel, both chapters. We will be uploading more of Last of Us 2, as well as Pokemon Island of Armor DLC, as well as a new game that is a kind of like a choices-based strategy game, which is a Through the Darkest Times. Stay tuned for all of that and more content coming here very soon. Thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Peace.